Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I'm your host Stan Rattan and this is a Blue Collar Wine Show where I try to help you spend your wine dollars wisely. And you might notice there's no bottles up here on the bar, and that's because I had to kind of set up this blind tasting sort of. I had to put the bottles together, then I had somebody else bag them up and number them, so I had to go about it that way because you know, sometimes when you're doing this stuff solo, you don't have a big team behind you. You have to kind of get creative. And of course, one of the bottles was taller than the other, so I had to do this little thing in the bag. So I'm going to pull them out of the bag, bring them up here. And what I did, I know this isn't a totally true blind tasting. What I did is I took an Australian blend, a Washington blend, and a Portuguese blend. And I'm going to taste them blind and try and figure out which one they are. And this is just good practice for me, very interesting for you, because there's certain things, of course, that you look for in every wine. And, excuse me, and in line with my theme of trying to bolster Australian wine sales in 2015, or bring, not even bolster, I hope I can do that. Personally, that would be a great thing. I'd be happy about that. But no, just to bring awareness to the Australian wines and how good they are. They're not all Yellowtail, they're not all Jacob's Creek, they're not all Lindemans. I've been reading a couple interesting articles on that, and I'm not the only one that thinks that way. It's a pretty universal that those cheap brands really destroyed Australian wine sales, and a lot of people are having trouble grasping the concept that yes, Australia can produce good wines in the $15 to $24 range, and there's wines you should seek out from there. So let's get started. I'm just going to reach down in the bag here and go. This is number one. Now you see I don't know what order these are in either, so let's do a little rinse. Not a very good rinse, but I don't want to put the bottle down because I really don't want to get an idea of what this is. Okay, so this is number one, and remember, I'm going to put it back in the bag. I'll pull them out in a second. Actually, let's just set it over here for now. I don't want to really look at it. Okay, when you're setting it up by yourself, I do know which three wines they are, but that being said, I don't know which ones are in the bag. So let's see what we get on the nose. A little bit of currant action going on. Violets, red flowers for sure. I wish I was more of a botanist. I could give you a better idea of what flowers I'm smelling. I need to work on that, by the way. That's something in the future that I'm really thinking about this year. It's really kind of enhancing my awareness of certain aromas, especially when they come to flowers. But I definitely get red flowers, currants, a little bit of crushed rock. A little muted on the nose. They've been open for a little bit, but only the cork, so you know that's not like decanting. If you truly want to decant, you have to put it in something with a wider surface. But opening them up doesn't hurt, that's for sure. By the way, that's more than the average consumer does, according to statistics. Most people, by the time they get home and uncork the bottle, consume that bottle within an hour after they uncork it. Which we just have to live with that, right? That's the way people are. So we live with that. We understand that, and as reviewers, we understand that too. A little muted. You know, there's not a lot going on with the aromas on this wine, just a couple of things, so let's see what we get on the palate. Nice spice. Getting a little bit of raspberry on the back end of this wine. But a lot of crushed rock. This wine displays a lot of that crushed rock element to it. A little bit of tobacco coming through front to mid palate. A lot of currants, but that raspberry with the currants kind of gives an interesting flavor. Good acidity, by the way, on this wine. I'm getting some interesting wood notes on this. Obviously some oak treatment coming through. It's good wine, good structure, good balance, good acidity. nice fruit, but that the fruit is not the dominant part of it. And on the back end, I am getting a little bit of black and green olive, which is very interesting. So, we will grade it, and I will make a guess as to which one it is. Just the country. Remember, we're doing Portugal, Australia, and Washington. There we go. There we go. Okay. Well, now that I guess it, I don't mind putting it up here. Okay. That's kind of fun. Interesting way to do it. Let's move on to the next one. The crushed rock on that one is amazing. A little bit of mushroom too. That's what I'm getting. Hey, I pulled 2 out. Must be some sort of subliminal magnetism coming through there. This is number 2. Totally by accident. Had no idea how Penny put these in the bag for me. There you go, number 2. This one might be slightly corked. I'm going to go for it anyway. I think it's slightly corked. I'm pretty sure it's slightly corked. Although I did get a little cart. Nah, I wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't do it at all. I can't get past the corked. There's a little mint action. You see, it's so lightly corked that I'm not even sure if it's worth even mentioning that, but I have to. Just came out. Sorry. There's some serious currant notes with black olive coming through. A little bit of vanilla and mocha, which is very interesting. Let's see what we get on the palate. Definitely corked. I'm not gonna grade it, but I'm gonna guess where this is from, only because, you know, I have now. Interesting. The person that put these in the bags, I bagged these. I just asked them to number them and put them in the bag and make sure they were all on the same level in the bag. This is definitely corked. I'm just going to guess the region that this is from or the area, whether it's the Washington, Portugal, or Australian wine. Whew. That's happened on this program a little bit more than I wanted it to happen. This is number 3, which is totally by accident, by the way. Huh. Very curious. I went counterclockwise, too. Wow. I wonder if there's some sort of a... That is just weird that I hit 1, 2, 3. I mean, to me, that weirds me out. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next one. Number 3. I couldn't grade number 2, not a corked wine. It's hard to put that one in my mouth, but I have a general idea. If I'm right about the first one, I think I'm right about the second one. Let's see what we get on the nose with this one. And part of the reason I wanted to throw the Australian in the mix, and this is all, again, I already mentioned this, is just to demonstrate how, you know, Australian wines can really compete with many of the blends that we have on the market today that are doing so well, and people have gotten away from Australian wine, and there's no reason that you can go back to it. It's okay. This has like ripe cherries, like ripe black cherries, a little bit of currant action coming through. A little coffee, a little like coffee bean coming through on this one, which is interesting. Hints of blueberry, which I really like. A little bit of tar action on the backside. Let's see what we get on the palate. Good balance on this one. In fact, it's making me doubt a little bit my choice on number 2. The coffee bean element comes through. The currants come through for sure. There's a little bit of grippiness on this one. The tannins are solid, smooth, but structured. Really like this wine. I like that coffee bean element coming with the currants, just a touch of minerals coming through. Good solid fruit, nice long finish, a little bit of tobacco coming through. A little toastiness on this one, like they toasted the currants almost, which I really like. It shows good balance. There's the blueberries right on the back side. I just felt it right there. I'm gonna have to go with my gut on this one. I think this is a tough one. Having the second one corked really kind of threw me off. Okay, there we go. So all I did was guess country because I knew one was from Portugal, as I already mentioned. I knew one was from Washington. It was a blend, and then there was a blend from Australia. Very interesting wine. This is a nice wine. Good structure. So number one, I guess to be from Portugal, and I graded it a B. And this is, let's see if I'm right. Oh, yep. The Subio from Mercedes Winery, Douro, Portugal, 2012. It rolls in at $14. There we go. And I really love this winery, Mercedes, up in the Douro Valley. They do an awesome job. David Baverstock is the winemaker up there, and like that wine, I gave it a B. $14, good value from Portugal. Number two, I guess, to be the Washington blend. It was corked, as you remember, so I did not grade it. I was right. Tertulia Cellars, Sobra, Columbia Valley, 2008, and this one rolls in at $15. There's the label. I love Tertulia Cellars. I'm waiting for somebody to pick them up. If you're watching this video and you're one of my distributors, you guys should look into picking up Tertulia Cellars. They're a great winery. They do a great Viognier. I like them a lot. They do a good job. I'm sad that that one was corked, but I had a feeling, just based on prior experience with Tertulia Cellars, who make their wines very old world like. That's why I threw it into the batch. Thought it might throw me off with the Portuguese wine. They do a very solid wine, very old world style. So hopefully I can, maybe I can find one. Somebody will pick it up and I can get one and review it that is not corked. So number three, I guess, to be from Australia. I was correct. And this one I gave a B+. And this is the Penfolds Canugan Hill, always have trouble with that one, Shiraz Cab, South Australia, 2011, and this rolls in at $12. So I give it a BB+, a BB-, you can't go BB+. I get BB-. Very nice wine, good balance, good structure. Actually, I think that Sobra, they all showed really well, but it's very interesting to me that this Australian wine did not have that big, jammy, kind of goofy, Kool-Aid style that so many people associate with Australian wine. So, and at $12, it's a great value. I know a lot of people do still buy Penfolds, but there was a time when I could not keep this on the shelf. People had given up on Australian wines. I want you to come back to them. I want you to look at them. I want you to start seeking them out because they make great wines. They do, from Australia. This is a really good example of what you get from there. Hey, thanks for watching, and remember, wine is not a mystery. It's just fermented grape juice. Trust your palate. Always be willing to try new things. Never let anybody tell you what you should or shouldn't like. And if we do that, we can keep the snob out of wine.